Well, Joe Biden's back. And right here, I, as a Republican and member of the media, I am thrilled. I want more Biden out. Every day, I got to see some Biden in my life. First of all, it makes my job easier. You know, every day we got to say, well, what are you going to talk about today? When Biden shows up, that's a segment, takes care of itself. You'll see in a second. But secondly, I want the world to remember. I want the world to remember when they see Joe Biden out there that he and his team in the White House and his party just 7 months ago were telling you that he is perfectly fit to run for 4 more years. And the media went along with it too. Even better, when we pointed out that he looks like he's, maybe missing a step, maybe he's got some mental problems or some cognitive issues or some physical problems, or maybe he's just freaking old. Well, they called us names. They said we were liars. They said we were engaging in propaganda. What did they call it? Cheap fakes were the videos that we showed you every single day. And the people in the media, they went along with that too. Yeah, that's why I want Biden out there every single day, because I want everyone to remember what they were trying to sell us until they realized they just couldn't sell it anymore. So we'll begin Joe Biden's triumphant return to the American political stage with Caroline Leavitt, spokesperson for the White House, yesterday.
My first reaction when seeing former President Biden was speaking tonight was I'm shocked that he is speaking at nighttime. I thought his bedtime was much earlier than his speech tonight. I understand the topic of his speech will be Social Security. Let me make it very clear ahead of former President Biden's remarks. President Trump, is absolutely certain about protecting Social Security benefits for law-abiding, tax-paying American citizens and seniors who have paid into this program. He will always protect that program. He campaigned on it. He protected it in his first term, and he's back again to continue protecting.
All right, so that's right. You heard it right there. Joe Biden finally making his triumphant return to the American political stage, cashing a big fat check to deliver a speech to scare old people about Social Security. And it's full of lies, by the way. Absolute, complete, and total lies about Joe Biden and Social Security, and he's taken the money to the bank for delivering the speech. So let's take a look at it, shall we? It began kind of a rocky start. Pro tip, everybody. Listen, Joe Biden, you got to forgive him. See, Joe's only been a politician for, 55 years? He's only been in the public eye and giving political speeches since, when bell bottoms were cool. It's like when the Brady Bunch was still on the air. The Beatles were still together when Joe Biden began his political career. And so, you got to give him a little bit of a help here and give him a tip. Here's a tip, Joe. When they introduce you, they're going to play music. Wait for the music to be done before you start speaking. Right, Joe?
Thank you. So good to be here. Who deserve help and paid for.
Oh my God, that is amazing. And I love that the sound guy didn't even try to do the slow fade. It was like, obviously somebody was like, kill it, kill it, kill it. And they just, I only wish that when you finally got the music out of there and you could finally hear Joe Biden's voice, I wanted him to say, and that's the most important thing I'm going to say today, and I'm not going to say it again. Now, let's move on to the rest of my speech. Oh, that would have been glorious. All right. A little bit more from Joe Biden when I do love it when Biden goes off prompter and starts telling stories about his youth. It's like we're all sitting by the fireside and like, Joe, we're drinking our hot cocoa. We're relaxed. We got a fire in front of us. Do tell us about your days, your childhood days. Will you, Joe?
And I had never seen hardly any black people in Scranton at the time I was only going in the 4th grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by. And
I'm sorry, did he just say what I think he said? Was he? Hold on. Clearly, first of all, I thought he like spent all of his youth in a black church. Didn't he tell us that? I spent more time in a black church than most of you people have. I was raised in a black church, right? Wasn't that what we were? And now it's not till fourth grade. He's 10 years old when he sees his first black person, but he didn't. Hold on. I got to break this down.
And I was only going in fourth grade. And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by.
All right. So did he say at the time they were called colored kids? Or did he say, I remember them going by at the time they were colored kids?
And I remember seeing the kids going by at the time called colored kids on a bus going by.
Either way, not a good look. Either way, probably not the best thing, Joe. All right. Well, maybe it got better when he went back on teleprompter.
Republicans, or these guys, are willing to hurt the middle class and the working class in order to deliver significant greater wealth to the already very wealthy. Who in the hell do they think they are? It's never been this divided. Granted, it's roughly 30%, but it's a 30% that has no heart.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, listen, that's the Joe Biden we've known and loved. So we've never been this divided, he says. He was just president for 4 years, and I thought he said when he ran for president that it was going to be his goal, his mission to unite this country. Now, he's only been out of office for 85 days. So how good a job did he do there in uniting our country? So if we've never been this divided, Joe, are you basically admitting that you're a complete and total failure with the one thing you said you were going to do as president, which is unite us? By the way, what was that last thing he said about Trump supporters, Republican? What was it?
It's divided. Granted, it's roughly 30%, but it's a 30% that has no heart.
So first of all, I hate to do the math for you, Joe, but Kamala Harris lost not only the Electoral College in a miserable fashion, but she also lost the popular vote, which means by definition, Donald Trump got a lot more than just 30%. But maybe he's just saying the hardcore MAGA supporters, which, by the way, NBC News poll released yesterday, 37% of Americans now consider themselves MAGA Republicans, not 30. But let's just go with it. 30%. He thinks 30% who would identify as MAGA Republicans.
Granted, it's roughly 30%, but it's a 30% that has no heart.
They have no heart. So this is the man who is now lamenting that we've never been this divided. This is a man who has been in public office, by the way, since 1971, when he first started running for office. He's been a senator, he's been a vice president, and he's been a president. And maybe, Joe, you're part of the problem if we're that divided in this country, considering you've been a part at the highest level of American politics. Maybe the way you go about your job, maybe the way you lied and tore down Robert Bork during his confirmation hearings in the 80s, maybe the way you lied and tore down Clarence Thomas during his confirmation hearings, maybe the way you lied about Mitt Romney and George W. Bush and Ronald Reagan and every other Republican. Maybe you're part of the problem here in terms of why we're so divided. But now the cherry on top, he's so upset that we're so divided. Sure, maybe it's just 30%, but those people have no heart. Gee, I wonder why we're so divided. When you can stand up there as a former president and say that 30% of our country has no heart. And why do they have no heart? Because they didn't vote the way you wanted them to vote. I would love, by the way, for him to explain the other 20% of Trump voters who voted. I guess he thinks they have a heart, but I wonder what his other reasoning would be there, right? As if he can reason. Can I remind you, he got paid to deliver this speech? Some organization out there actually gave him money to deliver this speech. And the speech was full of lies to scare old people about Social Security. 100
days, this new administration has done so much damage and so much destruction. It's kind of breathtaking it could happen that soon.
Oh, actually, not really. We saw it when you were president, how quickly things went to hell. And I believe you put together your plan for the Afghanistan withdrawal in March of your first term. So, I mean, yeah, you didn't execute it until August, but still, you can move pretty fast, Joe. But again, let's watch this clip one more time and then reflect on just Joe Biden, the man, the delivery. The message is one thing, but what about
100 days? This new administration has made done so much damage and so much destruction. It's kind of breathtaking it could happen that soon.
All right, so say what you will about Joe Biden, but after watching that clip, I got to admit, he's looking good. This is probably the best he's ever looked in a while, right? I mean, look at him. He is sharp as a tack. He is obviously in great physical health. Never better, in fact. I'm thinking they might run him in 28.
Simple dignity. Everyone deserves to be treated with dignity, regardless of their standing, regardless of economic situation, regardless of who they are. Making sure that more than 60 million Americans who are living with disabilities are treated with dignity is who we are as Americans. That's what it's about.
Man, I do love it when he gets angry and starts screaming at the audience, screaming at us, screaming at Americans. I think he thinks that that's a way to get applause, and they did start clapping for him, but you miss him, don't you? You miss this kind of attitude. You miss this kind of anger. You miss this kind of bullshit. We are so past this as a nation. But he wasn't done. He had more fear tactics, more scare tactics, more lies about the Trump administration.
It's about who we are as Americans. Who are we? What makes us distinct from the rest of the world? It comes down to basic, in my view, fundamental American values. Nobody's king. Nobody's the boss. Everybody has a shot.
Didn't Bruce Springsteen campaign with him? I think he did. I wonder how he feels about that.
Nobody's the boss. Everybody has a shot.
I mean, I'm not a big Springsteen fan, but I'm pretty sure he likes to be called the boss. I'm going to let our colleague here at Town Hall Media, Guy Benson, have the last word on this. He appeared on Fox and Friends this morning.
President Trump has promised not to touch either program. That's disappointing to me, but I think politically I get why Trump has done it. It's because of this, right? The Democrats are attacking Republicans for a non-existent policy that has no basis in fact, just because they hope it would resonate. It's actually a bipartisan consensus right now to not touch Social Security, and yet they roll out Joe Biden to talk about it anyway to try to scare older people, which is, I guess, part of their playbook, but
yeah, that's exactly their playbook. In fact, it's not just part of their playbook. It's all they've got. Good job, Guy. Good to see you. We'll see you around the office there in the town hall corridors. Biden's back. This is going to be the message. They're probably going to do more of this. I guess they think that older voters are going to like him because he's one of them. And he's just going to lie. He's just going to scare people and say that Social Security benefits are going down. There are reforms coming to Social Security, 100%, and those reforms have to do with getting rid of the people who are wasting money, getting rid of fraud at Social Security, making sure that the people who are getting Social Security are only the people who are supposed to be getting Social Security legally, and ensuring that the program is sound enough for the future people who do deserve to have Social Security, who are citizens and taxpayers and who deserve to get their benefits. But I don't know, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but trotting out this guy who has some level of authority for some people in this country, you know, they think that he knows what he's talking about because he was the president, and have him go out there and tell 75, 80-year-olds that their Social Security checks are going to dry up and they're not going to be able to get any money in their final years when they're on a fixed income right now and trying to retire and trying to live out their life. And they're going to freak out now because Biden, with his authority, with his imprimatur, goes out there and tells them that Trump's taking it all away. hey, it's politics, I guess. And as Guy said, that's their messaging. And I guess it's a strategy, but I don't know. It's kind of evil. It's horrible. It's despicable. It's Joe Biden. And that's the Biden brand. Glad he got to make some money, though, because Hunter's not selling any paintings anymore, and he just had to give up his law license, because he's a criminal. There's no other money coming into the family, so he's all they've got. It's kind of sad in a way, and I would feel sorry for him if he wasn't such a complete and total pathetic jerk.